Okay, so we're going to be talking about carbohydrates in this topic. Carbohydrates, what gives us amazing energy after we eat and stuff. We can get through the day because of this, but yeah, so carbohydrates, usually CH and O. So carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. It's usually for energy storage and sometimes structural function, but I won't put that in because that's more of a less necessary function. So what is the monomer of it? It's a monosaccharide. And then the polymer would be a polysaccharide. And if we had two linked together, it would be a disaccharide. And how are they linked? Through glycosidic linkages. So a monosaccharide is just one single sugar molecule, such as glucose, fructose, or galactose. So disaccharides are actually pretty important to know. So glucose plus glucose will equal the disaccharide maltose. And then glucose plus fructose will equal the disaccharide sucrose. And then finally, glucose plus galactose will equal the disaccharide lactose. And then there's also two types of sugar molecules. There's the alpha and then there's the beta. So for the alpha sugar molecule, the hydroxyl group on carbon 1 is actually pointed down, versus in the beta, the hydroxyl group is actually pointed up. So that's the difference between the two, and that will actually be very important when identifying whether what the particular carbohydrate is being used for, if it's alpha or beta. So polysaccharides are again the series of connected of the monosaccharides, and they are all formed from dehydration. So let's continue on. So let's go alpha glucose molecules. So alpha glucose, there's actually, for plants and animals, there's two different types that are used. So we can have starch or we can have glycogen. So starch is used for energy storage in plants. And then glycogen is used for energy storage in animals. Right. And then we also have beta glucose. So beta glucose, we have two types again. We have chitin and we also have cellulose. So chitin is, okay, let's start with cellulose. Cellulose is a structural molecules in plant cells. Whereas chitin, very similar to cellulose, but each beta group has nitrogen in it, and it actually has a structural function in not animal cells, but rather fungal cells and insect exoskeletons. Yeah. So let's also talk about alpha glycosidic bonds versus beta glycosidic bonds. So for alpha glycosidic bonds, they have both alpha glucose, but the hydroxyl group points down. And then beta glycosidic bonds have both beta glucose, but there is one of the hydroxyl groups points up while the other points down. So that is a bit of a difference. So yeah, that was carbohydrates, and we can go on to lipids later.